Hello students, I am Deepti Santosh from St. Thomas College, Bhilai, faculty from Education Department. Today I am going to deal with B.Ed 4th semester, paper 10, Gender, School and Society. And under that I am going to deal with feminism, types of feminism, that is liberal, social and radical feminism. And in this video specifically I will be dealing with liberal and social feminism, and in my next video only I will be dealing with radical feminism. So here let me talk about feminism and specifically about liberal and social feminism. You know, feminism, we can understand feminism as a movement and as an ideology. This feminism can be understood as a movement and as an ideology, and as a movement I am not going to deal here. I will be talking about the ideology only. See, for example, feminism can be understood as a movement and as an ideology too. As a movement, you had the first wave, second wave and third wave. As a movement, you have a first wave, then second wave and third wave movements. Okay. This, it is impossible to deal all the matters related to feminism here. So movement I am not dealing here. So we are talking about these movements, about these waves, that is about region and time period. That is, its scope is limited and to some countries and fixed period. When we are talking about first wave, second wave and third wave, we are talking about particular region and the time period. Now feminism, when we deal it as an ideology, if we deal it, then when we talk feminism as an ideology, then the scope is quite broad. Ideology can be applied to any area or time. That is, feminism is classified according to Alan Jagger, that is in 1983. In 1983, Jagger divided this concept into 4 ideologies, that is liberal feminism, socialist feminism, Marxist feminism and radical feminism. They divided into 4, that is liberal feminism, then socialist feminism, then Marxist feminism, then 4th is radical feminism. And here we will be dealing with liberal and socialist feminism, and under socialist feminism we will be also dealing with some Marxist feminism too, because there is we will be dealing with capitalist too. So majorly we will be dealing with liberal feminism and socialist feminism, and this radical feminism we will be dealing in some other video. So here feminism was divided into 4, as I told, that is liberal feminism, socialist feminism, Marxist feminism and radical feminism. Here let us start with liberal feminism. Liberal feminism. You know, this liberal feminism, in this it is sub-branch of liberalism, and they follow the core principles of liberalism or liberal framework to understand the problems of women. Here they followed the liberal framework to understand the problems of women and bring solutions to women's problems according to liberal framework. So the problem, they tried to understand the problems of women from the liberal framework outlook, or they tried to bring the solutions to according to liberal framework. So liberal feminism advocates the principle of individualism, that is give freedom to individual. So what does this liberal feminism advocates? It advocates the principle of individualism. Individualism. That means give liberty to individual. Give liberty to individual. So they wanted to give liberty to individual, or believes in individuality, or give liberty to individual for his growth and development. Why they wanted to give liberty to individuals? Because they felt individuality will prosper and that will help, and because of giving individuality, the person will grow and prosper or may develop. So before liberal feminism, woman was not included in the category of individualism. Why the concept of liberal feminism happened? Because before this liberal feminism, this woman was not included in the category of individualism, because it was believed woman didn't possess reason or rational. So woman was not included because she didn't possess, it was believed that she didn't possess any reason or rationality. She didn't possess any reason or rationality. So here, woman to be included in the category of individual, and all the liberty and rights should be given to individuals, should be given to women only. And because liberal feminists believe both man and woman possess reason and rationality. So the main cause of liberal feminism was that women were not given any individuality. The concept of individualism was not for women, as it was believed that women didn't possess any reason or rational. They didn't had any reason or rational, and so these liberal feminism wanted that women should be included in the category of individual, and all the liberty and rights should be given to the individual, should be given to women too, because liberal feminists believe both men and women both of them possess reason and rationality. Again, there should not be any discrimination on the basis of sex anyway. There should not be any discrimination. Okay, first is individuality. The second portion is there should not be no discrimination. No discrimination. They wanted equality. Discrimination of sex. There should not be any discrimination on the basis of sex anywhere. That is, liberal feminism is egalitarian and reformist in nature. That means they are egalitarian. Egalitarian and reformist. And they are reformist in nature. So, this liberal feminism were egalitarian and reformist in nature. Why they are called as egalitarian? As they demanded equality with men. They were known as they were treated as egalitarian. Liberal feminism is egalitarian and reformist in nature because they demanded equality with men. And why they were called as reformist in nature? Because she doesn't talk about overthrowing any institution, but reforming the institution. She wanted to reform the institution by framing laws which will be beneficial for women's betterment. She didn't want to throw any institution, but only she wanted to frame laws or reform the institution by framing laws for the betterment of women. And this way they can reform the established structure. So liberal feminism were not against the established basic structure of society. So the liberal feminism is also called reformist. So some liberal feminists are, there are names of some liberal feminists too. Let me mention those persons who worked for this liberal feminism. They are Mary Wollstonecraft, J.S. Mill, Martha C. Nussbaum and Susan Moller Okin. These were the liberal feminists, and out of these Martha C. Nussbaum, Martha C. Nussbaum and Susan Moller Okin. These two were contemporary liberal feminists. And this liberal feminism, though follows liberal framework, but it also criticizes some liberal concepts. Which exclude women. Example, I'll say concepts like public and private divide. They don't believe in this liberal concept of public and private divide. Now, what does this mean? Public and private divide. They didn't believe, or they also criticize some liberal concepts which exclude women, that is public and private divide. That is, what is in private and public divide? Public sphere is political. Here this public sphere is political. Okay. So what happens when it is political? Government can interfere. Here government interference is there. Government interferes. Okay. Then what happens? When government interferes, then government gives justice through laws by framing laws for justice. Okay. So government frames laws for justice. Okay. As government is interfering, the government frames laws too for justice. Then what about the private? The private here, private sphere is as opposite. It is not political, it is personal. Private sphere is personal and no government interference. There is no government interference. The government is not interfering. Then what? Laws are not applicable. Laws are not applicable and problems arise. When the problems arise, this is meant only for women who takes care of the family and children. So what happens in this private divide? It is personal and no government interference, and as no government interference is there, there is no laws. There is no laws, and it is affected for women. And in this, which group is affected? This woman group is affected because they are personal. Okay, their work is personal. So the problem arises when more than 50 to 70%, that is women population, 50 to 70% of population, where the major and basic activities happen, that is in personal. Personal, you see, major activities actually happen in personal, that is taking care of the family, nurturing the children, all these things actually happen in the personal. Their government is not interfering, and that is government cannot interfere because it is personal. So the problems happening in personal or domestic spheres, government is not able to interfere or give justice to solve the problems of women. So according to liberal feminism, here they want that, what is the demand? Government must interfere in private sphere too. So here the government must interfere in the private sphere too and give justice to women working under private sphere, that is domestic issues. Here private sphere I mean domestic sphere. means the household issues. So there also government must interfere in that is their demand. The government must interfere in private sphere too and give justice to women working under private sphere, that is domestic issues. Because of this demand of this liberal feminist, domestic violence was treated as crime. So domestic violence was never given any heed, but because of this demand, this domestic violence was treated as a crime, and violence that is especially violence of man over woman. Why? To establish justice in private sphere, government interferes and laws should be framed. Okay, so establish justice in the private sphere, laws should be framed, government should also interfere. So this way we cover this liberal feminism. Now let us talk about the criticism of this liberal feminism. What is the criticism of liberal feminism? Firstly, radical feminists criticize these liberal feminists. Who were the first to criticize? Who were the first to criticize this liberal feminism? Let us talk about the criticism of this. We have already talked about the characteristics of liberal feminism. Now let us talk about the criticism of this liberal feminism. And who are the first to criticize this liberal feminist? This radical feminist criticizes liberal feminists. That is, firstly, radical feminists criticize these liberal feminists. That is, they want women to be treated equally like men. This way they lose their identity or individuality, because they feel it's not that women should be treated equally with men. It's not that, but maybe women may be having much more efficiency than men. Then why she should be treated only equally with men? Then this way they are going to lose their identity or individuality. So equality is set by some male standards. This equality is actually set by some male standards, so that is not appropriate according to this radical feminist. So radical feminists criticize this liberal feminists that they want women to be equally treated. That is the first. Want women to be equally treated. And this radical feminist oppose that equal treatment should not be, it is not the issue, because as far as when you are in that way you will be losing your individuality, because maybe some woman may be much more better than man. Then why we are going for equality there? Then the second is stress on individualism makes collective effort difficult. Here stress on individualism, that much more stress on individualism is given, that what happens there makes collective effort difficult. So this collective efforts becomes difficult, because when you go for only individual individual efforts, then what happens? All the people won't feel for that. The feeling of belongingness will be less because of that, and so collective effort is difficult in this case. Then third is, they doesn't criticize patriarchy. They doesn't criticize patriarchy. Doesn't criticize patriarchy, because they feel this patriarchy is natural. This men, it's okay if man is the main member of the family and woman is taking care of the family and all, that's okay. Only they need the protection of law only and the government interference just to protect them from domestic violence. That is enough. Otherwise, this patriarchy issues, that dominance of man in a society is okay for them. Then third is, the demands are demands of white middle class only. Their demands, that was the demands. Whatever their demands were, they were demanded by the white middle class ladies only, middle class woman. So as I told, There was no collective effort. They stressed on individualism. That is why they neglected the other section of women in the society. Now let us move to socialist feminism. Socialist feminism. Now what is this socialist feminism? The socialist feminism, it follows the core principle of socialization and socialist framework. You know, here also it followed the principle of liberal framework. Here they followed the principles of socialist framework. According to socialist framework, the root cause of women's oppression is capitalism. So what is the root cause of women's oppression? Capitalism. Okay, so the capitalism was the root cause of women oppression. So how it is told that capitalism, how you will say that capitalism is the root cause of women's oppression? To understand this, we must try to understand the condition of women under capitalism. Why this? We should know the women are oppressed under capitalist system. So to understand that, let us understand the condition of women under capitalism. That is the role of women under capitalism, that is maintain and reproduce the workforce in cheap way. That is, what was the condition of women under capitalism? They used to maintain and reproduce. What they reproduce? The workforce. The workforce in cheap way. And who is the workforce? That means who is the worker? That is the unpaid. That is the mother who takes care of the family, or the ladies. She is taking care of the family, the children, and all. That is, the workers are important in capitalism, and these workers are taken care by these women. So they maintain and reproduce. Workforce means workers here means they take care of these workers, and these workers are important in capitalism, as these workers because these workers are taken care by this woman only, thereby helping capitalism in providing workers. So these women are actually providing workers to the capitalist system. How this woman is promoting the economic interest of capitalism. So remaining at home and taking care of home and family is good for capitalism. The capitalists regard this woman to, it is better that she should remain at home and take care of the family and take care of the children, because by doing that she is sending the workers properly, and she is taking care of the worker who is working for the capitalist system. So here this woman is treated as a reserve army of labor. Next, the woman is treated as reserve army of labor. See, woman is treated as reserve army of labor, means that is, whenever there is demand for more workers, then only woman is restricted or given job, recruited or given job. See, for example, I'll say during wars, World War I and World War II, those time there was a lot of demand for workers in the capitalist system of society, because these workers used to go for wars and all, they used to help for that. So there was dearth of workers in the industries. So because of that, during those times, these women workers got recruited, or they were given job. And again, when there was recession or men returns after this war mission, these women again were sent back to take care of domestic issues. So again, women under capitalist form a society. So they were treated as army of labor. So here too the woman was very much exploited or used. Then again, woman under capitalist form of society is treated as the slave of the slave. She was treated as the woman was treated as the slave of the slave. What does this mean? She was treated as a slave of the slave. How? I'll explain. Means capitalist system, there is systematic inequality existed in this capitalist system of society. Means under capitalism, man, that is a worker, and under that worker who was there? Woman. And this woman is treated as a slave by this worker. Which worker? Means the capitalist worker. And once he is returned back home, worker is a slave, but the slave of this slave is woman. That means when returns home, he treats himself as a master, as he is a paid worker. That is, worker is a slave. The worker of the capitalist is a slave, and that slave and this slave and this woman is a slave of that worker. Okay, so worker is a slave, but this woman is a slave of that worker. See, I'll make you understand. This worker is a slave, but under that who is working? Woman. So she is a slave of this worker. So she is also slave of this worker. So this condition of woman is much more than the slave, or that is much more worse than the slave or that worker who work or is a slave of capitalist only. So worker is a slave of capitalist, but what about woman? Woman is a slave of that her husband or the worker who works for the capitalist system. So her condition is, why her condition is worse? Because woman is unpaid and slave too, but man is paid, but slave only in public sphere, but not in private sphere of his life. So now let me tell you about the important socialist feminists. The important socialist feminists there were 2-3 important socialist feminists, that is Auguste Bebel, then Alexandra Kollontai, and then Friedrich Engel. This Friedrich Engel, he was very popular during Marx times. And according to him, the condition of woman, this Friedrich Engel, you know, here we can connect of Marxist feminism also. That is why I am talking here about Friedrich Engel. He was there during the Marxist time. According to him, the condition of woman deteriorated or became worst after the emergence of capitalism. He also said that this capitalism actually exploited women. The conditions became worse because of the system of capitalism. That is, before capitalism, society was matriarchal and center of production was family. That means men and women worked together collectively. But after capitalism, what happened? Due to emergence of capitalism, the structure of society became patriarchal. That means, patriarchal means men was the head of the family, and matriarchal means woman was the head of the family. So here men was dominance was from the man side, that is men was head of the family, and he used to take the decisions and everything, and mother's right was overthrown here and father's rights were recognized, and center of production shifted from family to factory. So here center of production shifted from family to factory. In the beginning it was only family. Center of production was family. Later it shifted from family to factory, and matriarchal system also disappeared and patriarchal came into existence. And here the importance was given to father and not to the mother. who used to take care of the family. That is domestic work. Woman used to do the domestic work, but she was unpaid worker, and outside work men used to do, and he was paid worker. Both were working, but men was paid and woman was unpaid. So woman has to depend on men for economic needs. So many needs. She was not self-sufficient or self-reliant. She has to depend for her husband or man for her needs. Thus, dependency of women started, and hence started their subordination. So this dependency, because of this dependency, what started? Women's subordination started. So self-reliance was very important for the woman. So because of this dependency, their subordination started too. And so what is the solution for that? According to, the solution for this is the socialist, according to socialist feminists, they wanted to overthrow capitalism. What did they wanted to what is the solution for this? Overthrow capitalism. According to socialist feminists, the solution for this is to overthrow capitalism and establish socialist society. Establish socialist society. They wanted to establish socialist society. That is that they think because of establishing socialist society, the things will be normal. So equality can be established and woman position can be improved after establishing this socialist society. But socialist feminist is criticized on grounds that it gives importance to class exploitations. This gives importance to class exploitation than gender exploitation. So criticism is that it gives importance to class exploitation. Okay, so what is the criticism of socialist feminism? It gives importance to class exploitation than gender exploitation. Okay, and the main goal of socialist woman was to overthrow capitalism only. So socialist feminists believe that once they overthrow capitalism and establish socialism, and then woman's condition would naturally and automatically improve. But that too was proved wrong very soon. And this we will come to know when we talk about radical feminists. This socialist feminism was also not a very perfect concept, and their ideologies were also not very perfect. And this we will come to know, and we will know more about that when we talk about radical feminist. Now let us learn about the basic difference in liberal feminism and socialist feminism before we end up this topic. So let us understand about the basic difference of liberal and social feminist. Liberal and social feminist. I am writing in short. What is the liberal feminism and social feminism difference between them? First is liberal feminism were individualistic. They gave importance to individualism. They were individualistic. They gave importance to individualism. But here socialist feminists, they gave importance to collectivist ideology. Okay, this was the major difference between two. The second, the liberal feminism talks about legal and political equality. Here the liberal feminism talked about legal and political equality. Okay, so they talked about legal and political equality of women. There mainly the social feminist mainly focuses only on economic equality. The socialist feminist focuses only on economic equality. Okay. So next is third point of difference is this liberal feminism does not criticize capitalism and patriarchy. They did not criticize what? Patriarchy. They did not criticize this patriarchy and capitalism. Okay. But what about this socialist feminism? Their goal was to overthrow capitalism and patriarchy. Just the opposite. They wanted to, or their goal was to overthrow capitalism and patriarchy, because they believe this patriarchy and capitalism was the root cause of women's suppression or women's problems. The liberal feminism never thought like that. They doesn't criticize this capitalism or patriarchy, anything like that. And then the third point is creation of genderless society. This liberal feminism believed in creation of genderless society. The creation of genderless society, this liberal feminism believed, and the socialist feminists believed in creation of a classless society. Creation of a classless society. Creation of a classless society. This way, this liberal feminism and social feminism is being differentiated. There is large differentiation, or there is huge differentiation between this liberal and social feminism. And this way we cover this topic of liberal and socialist feminism. In my next video, I will be talking about radical feminism. Then you will understand much better about this concept of feminism. And students, I hope you understood this topic that I covered, that is liberal and social feminism. So, thank you.